welcome back to another tutorial by Big Al's Barber Channel. We are a great resource for student barbers, and barbershop owners. We encourage you guys to subscribe to our channel and click the little bell button so you get notifications every time we bust out a new video or a new vlog. We are here for you guys, so if you guys have any questions, any concerns, let us know. So what I'm starting off here quickly, guys, as always, I always start off my haircuts with a number 4 on the sides just to get away from all the bulk. But as you can see right here, what I'm doing first is I grabbed a clip, and it's always good to have these clips right here just so that you could move hair out of the way and just keep it out of the way. You know, so right here what I'm doing with it is I'm just going up with a number 4 and I'm just going up right up the sides, just getting all the bulk down, guys. You know, I always encourage everybody when you're doing a taper, you're doing a fade, or you're doing a regular haircut, or if you're, it's always good to start off with a number 4. Number 4 is a good number to start off on the sides, especially if they have a lot of bulk around the edges. I say 50-60% of my haircuts I start off with a number 4, and that's just to get down to a level playing field, or just to clear up my canvas that way before I start my fade or anything. That way, if there's any hair sticking out from the outsides around the parietal ridge, it'll just just blend it all down. So I just go with a number 4 all the way around. That's my first step, and just about half or more than half of my haircuts, especially if they have a lot of hair around the edges. Right here you get a good view of why I use the fork. You can see how on the top, on the sides, around the parietal ridge is kind of sticking out, like like porcupine-ish right there. You see it sticking all out. We'll worry about that right now when we get back to that edge of the haircut. So my next step right here is I'm gonna grab my my balder, and I'm gonna flip it upside down, and I'm gonna start creating my first guideline. If you guys don't have a balder, guys, I suggest you invest in a balder. A balder is a $40 machine that will save you so many trimmer blades. I can't even explain to you how many trimmer blades you'll save. If you're doing your initial guidelines, or you're taking off all the bulk with, I see some guys on videos doing them with the little those little cordless machines, and I don't even see how those things even last taking all this bulk down. I mean, taking bulk down like this, or you'll lose a lot of your power from your machine. So I mean, I think just using a corded balder is the easiest way. As you can see, I set it to I zero gap it so that it cuts like butter, just takes it all down nice and tight. No hair all the way around. On the back, you can see I kind of just dropped it just a little tiny bit. I call this a medium low fade, not so much a medium. Medium's a little bit higher, but since I dropped it, I call it a medium low fade. As always, guys, have your blow dryer right there. I encourage you guys to invest in a good blow dryer. Blow dryer is essential in keeping your canvas clean, guys. So quickly right here, I start off with my number 1 guard lever open, and I all the way open. And I'm just gonna go up. I go about halfway up the crown. Remember the crown, if he was wearing a crown around the edge of the head, that would be the crown. So I go about halfway up, and I'm just gonna go all the way up and create another guideline right there. That's the guideline that I'm going to blend out right now with my clipper over comb. First I went with a number 1, then I lowered my lever a little bit and I went down to number 1. Now I'm just going to comb it over so I can see exactly what needs to be blended out. And I'm just going to start blending it out, clipper over comb. Pull out. Just take little bits at a time, guys. If you wanted to, you could do steps on this. You could go 4, 3, 2, 1. And waste a lot of time doing it that way. If you're comfortable doing it that way, that's fine. But you know what, guys? Eventually, you need to learn clipper over comb. Clipper over comb is essential if you want to be a quick barber. If you want to get faster and you're working with steps, this is probably why you're taking a long time on your haircuts. Because if you're not utilizing the tool of clipper over comb, then you're just shortchanging yourself. Because clipper over comb is the fastest way to take this down and blend it in. As you can see, I'm just what I do is I pull up, pull in, pull out, and then just take out little bits at a time. Sometimes it could take me 20, 30, 40 strokes before I get it all blended up. But just little by little. Again, guys, like my other videos, this one is running in real time. I'm not speeding it up or taking off quickly. I'm gonna run it in real time, just so that you guys get a better visual of what this haircut is entitled, and so you can see the actual strokes, not the quick strokes. You know, sometimes it's easier that way. So right there, I went back with my 1.5, and now it's just kind of cleaning it up, blending it up from when I went with my clipper over comb. So right there, I flip over my GTX trimmer, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a shave line. I'm just cleaning up below where I went with the trimmer, where I went with the balder. Of course, guys, when you guys start using a balder, you'll notice that a balder gets it down tight, but not as tight as a trimmer. Trimmer is still tighter. So right there, I just went back and cleaned it up. Now I'm going back with my Gold FX again, and I'm gonna open my lever all the way open, and I'm gonna create a guideline all the way halfway up. Only halfway up. It's like maybe an inch, 3/4 of an inch up. As I go across, I lower 1 notch on my lever, and I'm gonna go across again, almost to the same spot, but not as high. A little bit less high. Now I'm gonna lower my lever another notch, and I'm just working on that bottom shadow. Just trying to fade out that bottom shadow. See that bottom line? That's the hardest line that most people struggle with. But if you utilize these steps right here, it's very simple. Now I close the blade all the way close, and now I'm just raking that bottom shadow, just raking it up. Never going as high as I went with my half, as you can see. I'm just pushing up that bottom shadow. As I push it up, I'm opening my blade, my lever again, and I'm pushing it back up towards the half blade. Kind of, first I blend down, and then I blend back up. Now I put my half clip on, and I'm just focusing on that center shadow. You can see that shadow right there, the shadow that I created when I went up with my half. Now I'm going to take that out with my half clip, lever open. As I go across, I lower my lever another notch, and I go across one more time. As I go across, I lower my lever one more notch, and I'm just basically focusing on that center shadow, just trying to rake it and spread it back up, push it up towards the top. If you utilize these steps right here, guys, I mean, I guarantee your fading will get faster and quicker. This is the way I was taught, and this is the way I do it. You know, of course, over the years, I perfected my system a little bit more. And when you guys start cutting, or if you guys are already cut, you know, you'll develop your own system of cutting. I always tell people that you have to develop a system of cutting, your own system, your own number system, you know. And you know, once you find out your system, what makes you faster and quicker, then you run with it, and you perfect that system. So right there, I went with my number 4 first, as you saw, number 4, and I'm just going up again, just cleaning up the bulk, guys, just cleaning it up. Cleaning it up all the way to the top. Remember, we went with a number 4 first. Now I put my number 1 clip on again, lever open, which makes it a 1.5, and I'm gonna go up to the center of the crown again, all the way across. So basically, we're creating another guy with a 1.5 right there. Once I went all the way across, now I'm going to lower my lever halfway, and I'm going to go halfway up, blending upwards. That shadow that we created right there with the 1.5, we're going to clipper over comb that in a second. So right there we go with our clipper over comb, and we're going to blend that 1.5 into the number 4. Simple. If you're using steps for this, I mean, it's okay. I'm not knocking using steps, guys. Steps is a great way of fading too, but to me it just takes more time. And if you're trying to get faster, then you need to do it the right way, and that way you could get faster, you know. And you don't want to take an hour on a fade. Nobody wants to take an hour on a fade. Nobody wants to sit there for an hour to get a fade. So this is a good, easy way of speeding up your process. So right there, I went with the clipper over comb. Now I'm going to grab my trimmer blade once again, and I'm going to clean up the bottom. Remember, the balder doesn't get as tight as a trimmer, so I'm just going to go in and create a little shave line. With that little, by me doing that right there, there's a little shadow shave on the bottom, or that's where I know where I'm going to shave down to. See that little shadow? See that little line right there? Kind of just taking it down, cleaning it up nice and tight. In that spot where that blade ends at the bottom of that trimmer, that's where I'm going to shave up to. So once again, we take off our guard, lever open, and we're going to go up about an inch, all the way to the back. As we go across, we lower the lever one notch, and we're going to go almost to the same spot again. All the way across. Remember when we fade in 3 sections, one side, back side, and the other side. Now we lower the lever halfway up, and we're going to go only halfway up. Halfway up. Not quite as high as we did the last time. Eventually this turns into repetitious strokes, guys. You won't even think about this. It just happens, you know what I mean? So now I'm closing my lever all the way closed now, and I'm just focusing on the bottom line right there. Focusing on that bottom line, trying to rake it up, trying to make it disappear. And right here in the back of the head, for some reason, it's always harder to erase that bottom line, guys. So when you can't erase that, if you find yourself struggling to erase that line, then you pick up your trimmer, and you come back with your trimmer right there, and you just push that line up. See that? Just push it up. Only push it. Don't ever go more than halfway up, though. If you go more than halfway up, you're going to create another shadow. So that little shadow that I created by going a little bit more than halfway up, now I come back, lever, open halfway only, and I'm going to push that up. Push that up to the halfway mark where we started up originally. And see that dark shadow I left in the back? Now that's the shadow that we're going to erase right now with our half clip. So I fade down, then I fade up from the bottom up to the middle, and then I blend out the middle. This is the way I was taught, guys. See, now I'm gonna fade. Now all I gotta do is erase that center shadow. Go with my half clip, lever open. I'm gonna go all the way across. As I go all the way across, I'm gonna lower my lever a quarter of the way. Same stroke, focusing on the same shadows as I go across. Once I go across, I lower my lever a quarter way, and I go up again. Just focusing on that center shadow, just trying to rub that center shadow out. I tell you guys, fading is just all repetitious. It's just doing reps. The more reps you get in, the better you're gonna get. I guarantee you that. You just need, don't shy away. If you're a new barber, if you're a student barber, don't shy away from doing fades, guys. Because you know what, when you get in the shop, you're gonna see that fade is the most asked for haircut out there. So if you're gonna get into this business, you need to learn this. And trust me, if you're struggling with fades, guys, don't get discouraged. You will get it. Anybody could do this. Anybody. I'm proven fact that anybody could do this. So right there, we're just doing a little bit of detail work. Now I have my blade all the way closed, and we're just focusing on that center shadow right there, raking it up, cleaning it all up, making it look nice and tight, make sure there's no dark spots, just cleaning it all up. Now the fade's starting to take shape here, starting to look like a nice little fade now. So we move on to the third section now. Remember, we fade on one side, we fade on the back side. Now we're going to go to the other side. Again, we start with our number 4 clip. Number 4, just removing all the bulk. You seen that I put the clip on this side so that, you know, I'm just moving that hair that is going to go back. Just moving it out of the way because I don't want to cut that off with the number 4. So what I'm going with my number 1 clip, lever open again, which makes it a 1.5, and I'm going to go up to the center of this of the crown. Center of the crown. There you go. Now I'm going to go back with my clipper over comb, and I'm going to blend that out right there. The number 1.5 to the number 4. I push it down, and I'm going to start lifting it up. I'm going to start up at the top right there and just kind of blend the top part out first. That way when I come in for the bottom, I can blend the bottom to the top. Just easy, guys. Just pull a little bit of hair, take a little bit out, take several strokes, a little bit at a time. Clipper over comb is such a vital part of fading, guys. It's such a vital part of cutting hair. A lot of people ignore it. People try to do steps when they do a regular haircut. They don't want to bust out the clipper over comb, but this is something that needs to be learned. I can't express the importance of learning clipper over comb, and the only way you're gonna learn it is if you try it and you do it. For all you new barbers out there, don't shy away from the clipper over comb, guys. Trust me, I used to do it myself when I was first starting out. I was scared of clipper over comb. It was just a natural movement with my hands, and It was difficult, but you know what? I stuck with it and I did it and I learned it. So now I'm gonna go back right here with my 1.5 again and just kind of cleaning out the line that I blended out right there. Just making sure that it all blends in. Then I lower my lever all the way and I'm pushing up to the number 1. Now I'm gonna take off my clip again. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna go back with my trimmer and I'm gonna work on that shave line on the bottom. See that? Just cleaning it up, making it nice and tight. That way right now when I go up to fade out that bottom line, then it fades out clean because it's already a 0 on the bottom. You want it to all look gradual. You want it to blend in, guys. So now I'm going to go with a lever open again, which is a 1/2, and I'm going to go up about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Go all the way across. See how I formed a little shadow right there? Now I lower my lever 1/4 of the way, and I'm going to go across one more time. As I go across, I'm going to lower my lever another 1/4 way, another notch, halfway up now, and I'm going to only go halfway up. Now I'm going to lower my lever another notch, and I'm just focusing on the bottom line, guys. Focusing on that bottom line, trying to blend that bottom line out. Getting it nice and tight. No lines, guys. You don't want to fade with the lines. Fade with the lines is a chili bowl. Remember that. You don't want to leave lines around the edges. That's a chili bowl. Lever open. You go across that center shadow. Just fade it out. As you go across, you lower the lever one more notch. Go across again. Just blending that line out, guys. So I go across, now it's completely closed, and I just blend out that center shadow. So right here, we're pretty much done with the fade. What I do usually do at this point is I go back and I do a little bit of detail work on my trimmer, take up all the long hairs, just get ready, prep the bottom for the shave. 2 ways of doing the shave. You could do it with a straight razor, or you could do it with a razor machine. To me, at my shop, I leave it up to my customers. Whatever their preference is what I do. So if they want to shave with a straight razor, it's the same price. I still charge the same price. I charge $22 for the fade right now on this year. $22 for a fade. Whether they want it with a straight razor, or if they want it with the razor machine, it doesn't matter. So right here, I'm going in with my Braun Series 9. And I'm just gonna go up to the shave line that I created. If you can see right there's a kind of like a light spot. I just go right up to the light spot, and as I get to the shave spot, I wiggle almost kind of like a circular motion, just getting it all up nice and clean. If you don't have a Braun Series 9, guys, I highly recommend that you invest in one. It'll shorten up your fade time. If you're trying to speed up your fades, I'm telling you, a Braun Series 9 is the way to do it. That's the quickest way of getting that hair down. Shaving it all down, getting nice and tight. Just cleaning it all up right here. Just getting nice and tight. Stay below your line where you went up with your shave line. Remember that, guys. You don't want to go too high and create another shadow with your shaver. Just keep it nice and tight, nice and low. As you guys can see right now in real time, this is only 17 minutes. We're only 17 minutes into the haircut, and we're practically done. We just got to cut the top and pretty much style it for him. Which for this young gentleman, it's an easy style and it's an easy cut on top. He's slicking it back. We're just gonna trim the tips on the top, and then what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of grooming spray on him and comb blow dry his hair back, and then just put some pomade on him, and he's rock and roll, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the top, and what I like to do in this situation with this guy is saturate, or with any customer, I saturate the hair really a lot. You already seen, if you guys seen my videos, you know that I like to use water when I cut the top because it's just easier to control the hair. It's easier to maneuver it. I think it cuts better when you have water in the hair. So me, I hardly ever cut the hair dry. I know some people cut the hair dry. I cut it when it's wet. So right here, I'm just pushing it all back. Like I said, it already lays pretty good. So it's just a kind of a trim. I'm gonna take off maybe 1/2 inch. And as always, when I do this, I do it in 4 sections. So you're gonna see me. I'm just gonna pick up right there, split the head in half, and I'm just gonna go. Took off about. His hair was pretty long. It took about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna push it back. Go back a little bit farther. Same amount as I go back all the way back. 4 sections. That was 1 section. Now I'm going to go to that side. And I'm going to do the same thing. Same amounts. Now I'm going to saturate the hair some more, and I'm going to do the other side. And once I do that, I usually, what I always do is I like to crisscross it, guys. So now I'm going to go to the other side now. Same thing. 3/4. I always try to lift up the same amount of hair. I already see my guide from the other side, so I follow my guide from the other side, and just try to keep it nice and even. This is an easy haircut when the gentleman, like this young gentleman, he has the right type of hair for this haircut. His hair lays back nice. You add a little bit of pomade and his style is nice, you know. But nowadays with pomade and with grooming spray, you could pretty much groom any type of hair, you know. It's just a matter of grooming it. But you know, sometimes you groom somebody's hair and then they go home and they can't groom it themselves the same way, and it's disappointing to them, you know. So what I like to do is I like to explain the haircut sometimes, or explain the, especially if it's a young gentleman, I'll explain how I'm cutting it and what I'm doing to it, how I'm styling it for them. That way that they get an idea and then they could go home and they could try to do it themselves. And at the same time, when you do that, you can sell product that way because you're explaining what you're doing and you show them what you're doing, and you're showing them the product. I like, if I'm showing them how I use a roller brush, I'll have roller brushes there for sale. I'll sell them a roller brush, I'll sell them the gel, I'll sell them the pomade, I'll sell them everything, you know. I just try to get him most comfortable so that he could style his hair the way that I style it for him. You know, I'll even take it to the point where I'll hand him the mirror and I'll show him exactly what I'm doing. So right there, now I'm crisscrossing the hair, going in the opposite way. First I went from front to back, and now I'm going from side to side. And the reason why I do that, guys, is that way I can see exactly what I missed when I went from front to back. When you lift up from side to side, you'll see exactly what you missed. It's called crisscross cutting, I think, or did I just name that myself? That's what I call it, crisscross cutting. So now I'm just gonna slick it back, and I can see that it's already laying down pretty nice. So I'm gonna, just like as always, I'm gonna blow dry them down a little bit, get them all nice and clean, nice and tight. And what I'm applying right here, guys, I'm gonna apply some. I like to use. It's called Suavecito grooming spray. Suavecito grooming spray. If you guys haven't heard it, it's sold by Suavecito. It's a great product. It's just it's kind of a hair setter. It's exactly what it is. It's a hair setter. You spray it into the hair. And as you can see, the hair's already a little saturated. So now I'm gonna blow dry it. And what I'm using right here, guys, and if you guys don't use this, and you have this in your arsenal of brushes and combs, you need to get it's just a simple roller brush. So a roller brush, it's kind of like a vent brush. It has a little hose through it so that when you blow dry when you blow dry, the air blows through the comb and through the hair. So all I'm doing is just rolling it back. As I see it, you can see my wrist, I kind of rolling it back. And what that does is it creates a little bit of volume. It blow dries the hair, and at the same time when it blow dries it, it rolls it back so that you start setting it that way. And then you're using the hair setter, the hair starts drying, and it sets in that certain direction. So that all you do is apply your pomade as a topping. You apply it over the top of the hair so that it just holds it and sets it there. You know, when you apply your pomade, guys, if you're using pomade, don't use pomade with the hair wet, because using pomade with the hair wet it just eliminates, especially if more, I should say, is if you're using a water soluble pomade, because water soluble pomade is going to eat up the water. So there I'm just blow drying it, trying to get it nice and tight, nice and dry, blow drying it, rolling my brush, just rolling it back, creating some volume, giving them some lift. And as I'm doing that, I can see that on the sides, around the parietal ridge, there's more clipper over comb that needs to be done, just to blend it out before I apply my topping. Right there, I'm just blow drying it, rolling it. For me, on this side of the head, it's a little bit more of an awkward motion, blow drying, than it is on the other side. For some reason, my holding, I'm right-handed, so holding the brush on my left hand is awkward. So even rolling it right there is kind of awkward. But I'm getting the hang of it. You know, and I've been doing this for years, but to me, it feels weird to be doing it from that side. So we're quickly moving along on this haircut right here. We're still at we're about 24 minutes. So you know, I'm trying to stay under the 30-minute mark because you know that's what a service usually takes, is 30 minutes. But we're right here at the mark. It's looking really good. I'm blow drying it. It's getting that little lift on top. So when I apply my pomade, it's gonna sit all nice and back. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna grab my clipper over comb. I'm gonna spin them around. Well, first of all, I'm gonna comb it back, make sure that it's all how it lays back, and just evaluating the cut, evaluating the sides, looking around the parietal ridge, make sure that there's nothing sticking out too much. You know, you don't want to take it. He doesn't like it completely straight up, so I try to do a little bit of a flare there. So right here is gonna do my last final detail on the around the parietal ridge. Is just nice tight blend using clipper over comb. This is the detail part of the haircut, guys. If you know, you should always, at the end of the haircut, you should take in your details part where you go back and you just double check your lines, make sure there's no shadows, make sure that there's no lines, make sure that everything's straight, make sure everything's laying down where it's supposed to be. No ridges, no dark spots. Stuff like that. No hairs around the ears. Right here, when you get around here, you're looking around the ear. I'm looking in the ear. I'm looking on the ear. If it's an older gentleman, you're looking on the ear. When you look at them from the front of the face, like we're facing them right there, I look at their eyebrows. I look at if they have a little antenna sticking out, you know. With a youngster like this, he doesn't have too much facial hair. He doesn't have too much of anything. But if you're doing this haircut on an older gentleman, you want to do all these little detail things for him. You want to make him look sharp. You want to, go up and beyond the call of your service. And trust me, you do an older guy's haircut and you notice hair in his ear and you clean it out for him, he's gonna appreciate that. I guarantee you that. I know that because it's coming from an old guy. So right here we're just doing final detail spots. Kind of a bad view on this because I'm on the other side, but I didn't want to flip the camera around just for that final little detail spot. I knew I had to just explain it, it'd be the same thing. Right there I'm using my blow dryer, just getting my canvas nice and tight before I finish this young gentleman up. This haircut is pretty much done. You can see we got a nice little tight blend right there. And what I'm applying on this gentleman is I'm applying Tip Top pomade. If you guys haven't got up on game on Tip Top pomade, I suggest you guys check it out. There's a link in my description of how to get it on there. Tip Top pomade, they have different varieties. On this young gentleman, what I use Tip Top Matte. Matte is basically a white cream, and what it does is these young kids these days, they don't like the wet look, so they like the dry look. So the dry look is a matte pomade. If you guys haven't seen it, it looks like a white look, almost looks like hand lotion, but it comes on white. You spread it on the same way. After a few seconds, it just lightens up, and you don't even see the whiteness anymore, and you get the nice dry look. If you know somebody who doesn't like the wet look, then the dry look, they want the dry look, then use matte pomade. So right there, I'm kind of like not pushing it down because I want we created the volume on top, and I want to keep that volume. So I'm not pressing it down. I'm just kind of pushing it back, letting the pomade start grabbing, taking hold, because within a few seconds it's gonna dry, and once it dries, it just locks in. That's pretty much it for this haircut, guys. No, this is a simple haircut. Be done quickly. You just gotta work at it, get good at it, and it'll come through, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, I encourage you guys to subscribe. Click that little bell button that you guys get notifications every time I put out a new video, a new vlog, a new product review. I got all kinds of things coming out this year. I'm going hard, so I expect to have a lot of subscribers, guys. So please subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.